Hold up. Wait a minute.
Bruh.
Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, hit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits. Drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock, I rock, I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, hit chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. True crime is my specialty. Exposing the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring cults. Exploring. Researching. Debunking. Investigating. Being nosy. Super nosy. Being messy. Being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me. The chick with ADHD. Unmedicated. But quite educated. Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop some drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like. Hit that like. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
Ooh, welcome. Oh, I got hair in my mouth. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Shout out to everybody in the chat, guys. Listen, B Tim, where are you at? Are you gonna bedazzle the gavel? You just gave me the coolest idea. I might bedazzle my gavel. Yes, I might be going to Hobby Lobby to go bedazzle this gavel. Oh, don't even try me. Okay. Just a couple things, guys. Shout out to you, B Tim. Thank you for being here. And Missy, I feel like you've been a member before. Did you just renew your membership? Shout out to you. Yes, let's get started. It's gonna be, I think. All right, let me gather my thoughts a little bit. All right, because today was kind of a crazy day. I'll say that much. We did not finish. We're about to finish what happened at the very end of Cassie on the stand. So I haven't read it. I literally, when I log off and go do things that I need to do, you know, like take care of me and mines, I literally log off and don't look. I literally don't pay attention unless I have to, which shout out to my beautiful, wonderful mods. They're amazing. Shout out to them. And I want to follow up on something real quick, because apparently, you know, we were live for 4 hours. We had a little over 1,000 people in the chat. It was, you know, kind of craziness. We had new people in there. And let me just say that, you know, there was some stuff that was happening in the chat, and we just need to make sure we get it together. I'll probably give a little spiel about it tomorrow a little bit more. The ending was rough. I haven't even read it, so I'm going to read it out with you guys. So what I like to do, and I think it's really cool to just kind of like, I do the 4 hours. It's like 4 hour live, almost 5 hour live here with you guys. And I'm literally just kind of reacting with everything with you guys. Okay. But I really want to thank you guys for being in the chat, for engaging, for watching, for supporting everything that you guys do. You guys don't even know how much it means. It means a lot to me, honestly. And it was really cool to have half of you guys there. I know we had some like interesting people there. And also shout out to everybody that, like, it's a really difficult case, I think, because we're at this boiling point where, you know, you have people that, and that's their opinion. Some people believe that Cassie is not a victim. That is their opinion. I respect yours. But if my mods or myself and I ask you, like, where are you coming from with that, or what is going on? I expect you to stand 10 toes down on everything that you say, because I could tell you kind of where I stand or what I think, if you know what I mean. Okay. Oh my God, Paige, thank you so much for this $19.99. You mean everything to us. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Paige. You're amazing. Thank you, me and Taz. I appreciate it. I'm trying to. So we have a new camera. I don't know if y'all can notice. There's the green screen. See that? I put it on the side. Listen, we're out of the courtroom now. even though we're going to do courtroom stuff, we're out of the courtroom now. But the camera that I have, so I have to learn to lift up the tripod. So it's a new camera, and I'm looking, and this is why it's so clear. This used to be my old camera, and it's still on standby in case I need to. It's literally a what is it? Just like a webcam type of deal that you'd hook on to StreamYard. But now we've improved a little bit. Shout out to our supporters and everybody else that supports me, man. We've definitely upped our game, and we're going to continue to do that. And I really appreciate you guys. Don't even know. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You notice the newer cam? Y'all, I'm telling you. Y'all can see my gray hair. Hold up. Let me see. We were looking at it yesterday. It's like, I got to dye it. Y'all see that? Gray hair. Right there, my friends. Gray hair means wisdom. Shout out to the 40s Club. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, you said, oh, Bruce and I love the new camera. Oh my God. Speaking of which, I gotta find my little sound thing. We gotta hook up. We might hook up Bruce a little bit tomorrow. Oh no, I don't know if it's appropriate. Aduko. Tomorrow's a little bit crazy. Official statement from the Menendez judge. We gotta talk about that. Yes, we do, y'all. But this morning was crazy, and I want to thank my beautiful, wonderful bailiffs, my mods, Chico, Pika, Tinkle Tits, Vic, every one of my beautiful, wonderful mods that helped out. Thank you, thank you. One of the things that I was thinking about as well is I might introduce Nightbot. I don't know what a Nightbot is, but I'm trying to find more information about it. I heard Nightbot is really great at helping out with links. I don't know if it blocks people. I heard that Nightbot will go like haywire sometimes, but I'm trying to figure out how to set up Nightbot. So I might be doing a little Nightbot every once in a while just to drop links here and there. Oh, and thank you, thank you, thank you. Let me not forget our honorary bailiff was Katie Cat. Thank you, Katie Cat. I appreciate it. It was a tough day, but I'm grateful for everyone here that was so supportive. Yes, absolutely. Nightbot can be helpful. Yeah, I might introduce a Nightbot. I just don't know how to introduce it yet. So let me find out how to do it. But we definitely, especially if we have a lot of people and we're going to be covering the Diddy trial. And let me be very real. And I was thinking back a little bit. I don't think I've ever really covered a trial like this. Does that make sense? So like I've covered trials before, but not to the extent where we're live for several hours and we're doing constant updates. Not like this. I might have done a little bit of the Murdoch, maybe a little bit of the Gannon Stout, but this is a little bit different. It was never anything like this. I definitely didn't want to get my feet wet with Karen Reed because listen, that one right there, I'm like, oh my God. Shout out to everybody that covers Karen Reed. I'm just saying that's a whole different animal. It really is. Okay. Okay, so Misty says that Emily D. Baker uses Nightbot. Okay, I need to figure out how to use Nightbot. Okay, so we got to figure that out. But I also heard that Nightbot gets a little like crazy and starts blocking people. So yes, I appreciate it. But yeah, it was a great coverage. It was awesome. Thank you, thank you. So you said I heard that Karen Reed as a whole. People have asked me cover Karen Reed. I said no, man. They're already on day like 20. I'm good. Shout out to everybody that's covering it. And I don't know how much justice I could actually do to Karen Reed. And that's just my opinion. But okay, I want us to get it together because we're not done. We're actually not done. I am right where we left off when we were covering the like right where we left off on the break. Okay. Igmel uses Nightbot. Maybe, yeah, I'm gonna have to reach out to some folks to help me. Yeah, and it's a retrial, y'all. The Karen Reed is no walk in the park. Now walk in the park. Karen Reed is the woman that was charged and currently fighting a retrial out of Massachusetts. She was charged with the murder of her boyfriend, police officer boyfriend, a Boston cop. So yeah, Duty Ron is doing fantastic. Shout out to them. I know Glaire's covering it as well. Really? Okay, it's all a setting. Nightbot can be mockable at times. All about the settings. Gotcha. So I'm good. Karen Reed is not one that I'm going to be touching, even though I was tempted at one point. Not tempted anymore. Sorry. Okay, But we are here and we're going to do our best to cover this. And like I said, I welcome everybody. There are people, guys, you guys have to understand, as much as we support and want to support victims and uplift them and everything, completely understand. But victims of crimes have to go through a process that puts them in a situation where they're going to be cross-examined and they're going to be interviewed and their statement is going to be torn upside down and out, and everybody has a right to their opinion. This is that. Okay. It's not victim blaming. It's not any of that. It's literally trying to understand the basis of the story so that we can understand this man right here is literally facing his whole life behind bars at this point. If we don't figure this out, but we have to have conversations about it. In social work, because I went to grad school, this was that. All right. Not running away from difficult conversations, actually having them. And if you can't have them, sometimes you got to log off, and that's okay. You don't want to be mad. You know what I mean? But that is the crux of it. Like KCG says, yeah, I have to duck out. Completely understand. I respect that. But this is the kind of stuff that they test you on when you're in the helping field, because this is the kind of stuff you have to confront every day. Sometimes you may be working with a client or you're helping a person who's convicted of the most horrific crimes. That's one side. Or sometimes you may be helping a person who's been violated in the worst way. Those are things that you have to figure out, and it's a balancing act. And your mental health is important. So please note that. Absolutely. Exactly. You have to figure that out. And I've been doing it for a long, long time. I could tell you that I have read the worst of the worst and still can. Sometimes I have moments where I'm like, oh, I gotta, like, even today when I was wearing my judge's robe, I got a little hot. Like, and I know it was hot, but like I got a little hot to the point where I was like, oh, she's about to talk about the urination and all that other stuff. I don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? But I knew that I had to get through it. It's not the first time I've heard of a victim being urinated on or being violated or having things done to them in the worst way. But you have to get through it. And sometimes a healthy way to do it too is also humor, figuring out how to balance that too. So I'm doing my best, but shout out to you guys for being there, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. You could be helping somebody that is really innocent and just have to, like you said, you have to balance it out. You really do. You have to, unfortunately, there's this thing in social work that you have to use. It's called putting things into compartments. Okay. For the longest time, when I was working with kids, little kids that were severely abused by their parents, I couldn't work with kids that were my son's age because I would think of my son and I would want to get my hands on people if that was, because that's what you do, right? You don't want kids to be abused. But that's kind of how I had to figure that out. I had to figure that out. And it was through working through that. And as long as I identify it and I call it out, it helps me out a little bit to know that, like, there's some stuff that I can't cover on this channel, guys. I can't cover little kids I don't know if you guys have noticed, I've really tried to shy away from. Genenstadt was a horrible case, and I don't feel like I covered it enough, and I certainly didn't. Genenstadt was a horrible case that really got to me because I know the area and I know some of the people involved and I know stuff. I couldn't do that. And I probably would have grown my channel massively if I would have gone on that. That's not what this is about. Sometimes you got to sleep at night. Or sometimes like any cases involving essay of a child is very difficult. Very difficult. I can't. And I think I heard the worst stories working in CPS and hearing the worst things. Little kids cases, and somebody was messaging me, can you please cover the case of the 2 missing kids? I don't know if I can do that. Mentally, I just wouldn't be here. And YouTube doesn't offer health insurance, y'all. They don't. So I have to do what I have to do, if that makes sense. So keep that in mind. KCG, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you, KCG, for blessing the channel. Hold up now. I got the camera right on my buttons. If you've been blessed by KCG, please put some confettis or hearts in the chat. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Let's get it together, guys, because we have to get back. So when we left off on this coverage of Cassie Ventura, we literally left off right where we took a break. Okay. I took a break. I said, all right, guys, I'll see you guys in a couple hours. So the judge comes in and basically says, ready, all rise. Miss Ventura, It's the first question that starts, okay, by the government. Miss Ventura, in what city did you respond to ads on Craigslist? All right, so let me stop right here. For those that don't remember where we left off a little bit, Cassie gets into the government goes back to the urination part, and she talks about how she was meeting like sex workers on Craigslist in different places. She was having to get sex toys and stuff like that from different places, right? And she was asked about how she felt about being urinated, especially like by people. Government says back to urination. Miss Johnson, this is when the judge intervenes and basically says, Miss Johnson, only a few more questions, because what was being said was that the prosecution or the government was like repeating questions, and I kind of felt that they were asking Cassie the same question to a certain degree, like get to where you're wanting to go. The plane hasn't really landed for me on the prosecution side. I'm going to be quite honest. They're questioning her a lot, but the plane hasn't landed, and I have a hard time when the plane doesn't land. But let's keep going. Miss Johnson, only a few more questions, the judge says. Why didn't you say no? She's asking, why didn't you say no about being, urinated on? Cassie responded, it was obvious I didn't want to be on the ground being urinated by two men. Government then asks, where did you find escorts? Initially, Craigslist. Okay, this is when the break happened and we stopped right here. So it starts back up. The judge says, all right, ready? I'll rise. Okay. So the judge, everybody's rising and everything. Jury's probably coming in at this point. Miss Ventura, in what city did you respond to ads on Craigslist? New York. Did you respond to ads on Backpage as well? Yes. Who directed you to communicate with escorts? Defendant stands up and says, objection. Objection. Who, if anyone, defends, stands up again and says, same objection, assumes a fact, not an evidence. So the defense is really standing up like this, like, no, you're not going to assume here. You're not going to do the most here. Okay. And by the way, the defense is really on their feet on this one. I'm just letting y'all know. Okay. They really, really are. Shout out to everybody in the, you said no pun intended. Shout out to everybody. Okay. So for those that are coming in, please hit that like button, please, and thank you. We're reviewing the very ending of all of this. Same objection, assumes a fact, not an evidence. Did you ever reach out to escorts independently? No, Cassie answered. Did you ever not use an escort who arrived? Ventura responds, Cassie, one couldn't perform, so Sean sent him on me. What was a safe escort? Not a cop, and someone who'd not run and tell everyone about their experience with us. Why not a cop? I learned this whole situation was not legal. Defense gets up and says, objection. Objection. Judge looks at the jury. Jury will disregard that last answer. Okay. How did Cash get there? Security or he brought it himself? This is what Cassie says. The security or he brought it himself. Okay. Now let's stop right here because there were times, especially when we were talking about this earlier, was it yesterday? Daniel Phillips, the escort. Okay. He was talking about how he was paid by her. Here, Cassie's saying that Diddy, security or Diddy would bring the cash. Okay. They had cash in their person. Okay. Hoo-wee. All right. Let's keep going, guys. And hit the like button, please. And thank you. Okay. Jury will disregard the last answer. How did the cash get there? Security or he brought it himself? The judge. Ventura responds. Ventura judge, security or he bought it himself. There's a little typo right there. And we could definitely go into CNN for this, but we'll put this on the side. The government asks, the escort Dave, do you know his real name? Cassie responds, Clayton Howard. Who is this? A photo is shown to the witness. Daniel. What service did you use? A dancer service. Do you recognize Jules? Yes. In what city did you have freak-offs with Jules? New York, LA, Las Vegas. Do you know his name? Do you know his last name? No. Who's this? I knew him as the Punisher. Okay. So they're talking about the different, I guess, dancers and the different people that were being introduced to these freak offs. Okay. She knew him as the Punisher. Okay. That's what she's saying. That's how she knew the guy as the Punisher. All right. Did you use drugs at every freak off? Yes. I need to disassociate and become emotionless. Who else used drugs at freak offs? Sean did. Sometimes the escorts. What other drugs did you use? Special K, GHB, mushrooms? Special K is like what? Ketamine? Is that right? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Government then responds, I'll read Sean's part of this email. You read you. Okay. So Ventura, Cassie reads her part. When should I take the thing? When will you be there? Pausing you there. What did you mean? This is what the government stops her from reading that and basically says, hey, let's pause right there. What did you mean? Drugs. Government reads Sean Combs' line. I took mine. I'm flying. Government then asks, what does that mean? Asking Cassie, like, I took mine. I'm flying. What does that mean? Ventura responds, he's high. Why did you take more drugs? This is what the government is asking Cassie. Why did you take more drugs? To not be present with the experience. Why? Because it was something I hated. How did you react to ecstasy and MDMA? It could make me vomit. What would he say? To continue. Okay. Did you want to continue to have intercourse when you wanted to vomit? No. How does GHB make you feel? Drunk, tipsy, cocaine? Makes my heart race. I'm not a huge fan. Mushrooms? The walls come alive. Oh man. That's what Cassie's saying. Walls come alive. All right. So at the 4-hour mark, judge says, we'll take a break. Okay. Take a break. All right. Now let me stop right here because I want to go to CNN updates because CNN was also doing the updates, right? Yeah, she like disassociated herself, right? Um that's a real thing. To disassociate yourself from what is happening at that point, right? I took more drugs because I wanted these awful things to be done to me. Why do you think? Sherlock says, I know it's frustrating when the because they're going there, right? She doesn't want to feel anything. I know what that. Listen, maybe a personal experience. When you've been through some shit, you take something. You don't want to be present. You don't want to live that. You don't want to feel that. So you take stuff to kind of disassociate, right? And that you run the risk of addiction. You run a risk of a lot of things as you don't know. I do feel for her here because I definitely feel like that's a thing. And that's a very common thing for trauma to try to disassociate to purposely try to numb yourself from that moment in that time. Numbing. That's right. Um, okay, so they take a break and I want to go to the CNN stuff, okay? So there was one thing that was said where we left off on CNN where let's go back a little bit. Cassie used to call Diddy Pop Pop. Do y'all remember that? Let me know. Do you guys remember when she was calling him Pop Pop? I don't know what that was all about. But let's get into that. Ventura says Combs wanted her to call him by her grandfather's nickname. It was almost like, okay, let me stop right here because I had a moment where I was thinking and kind of thinking about this. Like, it's almost like he was trying to infantilize her too. Like, yes, we see Cassie as young, but I had to kind of wonder about this. Like, was he trying to put this narrative of like he's like this older mentor, Papa, who's also having her as a side piece, in addition to also being with Kim Porter and whoever else he wanted to be with. That grandpa thing, Yanni, does creep me out. I am not gonna lie. I was like, and I'm gonna tell you, I didn't say it publicly, but I started thinking about this. I was like, oh yeah, that's not normal. That's not now, mind you, Diddy's the same guy who would call was it Meek Mills? Hey daddy, hey daddy. So I thought it was like a guy thing. I never listen. I'm thinking about everybody else. James is like, listen, Rabbit, I ain't even gonna try to understand. It's just sick. I agree with you. But think about it. Like this is what I was trying to figure out because he was it Meek Mills who he kept calling daddy? Hey daddy, that's right, daddy. I'm like, the guy you calling this girl like, huh? And I really try to check myself on that because I don't know if I'm trying not to be so like I feel like I might be overstepping on a bias that I might have about another man calling another man hey daddy or hey pop. Like I'm like especially because I'm not sure if it's in a sexual nature or if it's like what this is, and is it appropriate? Yeah. Could it speak to the family rumor? I mean, what do you mean, Cheeks? Let me know. Yeah, he bought him clothes too. See, he was now, to each his own. To each his own. Okay, we're not gonna get into that. And the reality of it, let me be very real. I don't give a shit that Diddy is gay, bisexual. I don't really care. Right? I don't think that that's what really matters. Are they consenting adults? That's what we want to know. Are they consenting adults that are in consenting situations, getting it on consenting? Nobody gives a shit about who's gay and who's nobody cares about that at all. Whatever. Do your thing. I don't like to freak shame. Everybody got their little things. Hey, shout out to everybody. Everybody does. Everybody does. Everybody's a little freaky. But are they consenting? And there's no children. Make sure they're not drugged. Okay. All right. So Ventura says Combs wanted her to call him by her grandfather's name. Early in their relationship, Sean Combs wanted Cassie Ventura to call him by her grandfather's nickname, she said. He wanted me what I called my grandfather. I said, Pop Pops, Ventura testified. I thought it was weird at the time, and now I just feel like it's disrespectful. He said her CC, he called her CC, which she said stood for Cassie Combs. So Diddy would call Cassie Cece, as in Cassie Combs. So it was almost like he was trying to keep her in this idea that at one day they were going to get together and he was going to like wife her up or something, you know? Mm-hmm. Combs could be a very scary person, Ventura says. When Sean Diddy Combs would get upset, he could be a very scary person and get violent. This is what she testified. Ventura went on to describe the ways that she would alter her appearance for a freak off. She said that she would regularly get wax. Okay, we did read this, and get her nails French tip. She get the French tips, okay? And then she used aliases. Yeah, we did read those. Okay. And then she was instructed about the baby oil. They had a kiddie pool full of baby oil. Okay. Just so people are aware. All right, hold up. Now let me go down a little bit. Just make sure I don't miss anything. Okay. So she returns to the stand there. The court takes a short break there. Okay. So the hotels were okay. This is interesting because some of this coincides with the lawsuits, okay, about hotel rooms being trashed and everything. Ventura details how Combs instructed them to use the baby oil. They would use the baby oil in kiddie pools. Keep that in mind, okay? The hotel rooms were trash after freak offs. Cassie Ventura said that the hotel rooms they used for their freak offs typically would be trash after drug fuel sex performance. She testified that she would try to clean it up a bit, and typically they leave a good tip. Many times, can you imagine having to clean that? Imagine having to clean after condoms, after astroglides, after. I'm gonna need a little hazmat suit for that shit. I'm sorry. Up to 4 days in a room? You're kidding me, right? That's like I don't even want to touch it. I would feel. Okay. Anyways, let me stop. By the way, there was a lawsuit about this. There was a lawsuit about a a person, I forgot his name. He sued Diddy because he had to clean up after the freak offs. He talked about that, and we read this lawsuit here. He had to clean up after all these freak offs. Yeah, he did. So, and imagine the smell. Oh, why are they doing this shit in a hotel? Doesn't this man got like mansions and homes that he could like do this at? Why does he have to do it in a hotel? But I guess like if they're trying to keep it incognito, they don't want any people, I guess that a hotel would be the place to go. I don't know. I don't know. She testified that she tried to clean it up, but they would leave a good tip. Many times, one of Diddy Combs' staff members would go in and clean up more. There's that. That's what the lawsuit was about. There was one time where somebody got this was Cassie wasn't around, but in another freak off, somebody got COVID or something like that, and it was spread in this freak off. Tell me how I remember this lawsuit, because I do. He talked about the astroglides and everything. Y'all having sex when everybody got COVID? Oh yeah, no. Mm-mm. Yes, and then the Glade candles. Okay, we're gonna get into that. Okay, so she tested. Okay, so Combs was often charged by hotel for damages. Ventura said she recalled hearing Combs staff members take calls from the hotels about the matters. One specific time, Ventura recalled the Intercontinental in New York charging Combs a really high number for the damages. I remember that she said this. Courtroom takes a short break. Court is taking a short break, and then Cassie Ventura's direct examination will continue in the federal crime. Okay, so there's that break there. Now let's get into inner city press here. All right, so at 4:15 p.m. Eastern time, Cassie is back, jury's back. Okay, judge then says you may continue. All right. Government then says, when drugs ran out, how did you know who to reach out to? Sean would tell me. During the session, how would you know to move the next step? Sean. What would happen after the escort finished on you? Sean would want it put on his body in the next room. Okay. Did you do that? I did. Where? Usually on his NIPPLES. Did you want to do that? No. How did you feel? I was an object, being heavily objectified by men. Sometimes he would watch by FaceTime. This man's got a sex addiction problem, y'all. These details. Shh. Okay. Were some sessions recorded on your device? Because they were there. This is what Cassie says. If you saw them on your device, what would you do? I would delete them. Why? They were disgusting. I never wanted anyone to see them. Were Sean's device used sometimes? Yes. I asked him to delete them. Did he? I don't know. Did you ever leave a freak off before it was over? Yes. At the Century City Intercontinental. I finally had a premiere coming. I finally had a premiere coming up, and I didn't want to mess it up, but Sean hit me. At that point, did Sean hit you? Between sessions. Okay. So the intercontinental situation is being described here. She says she had a premiere coming up and she didn't want to mess it up, but Sean hit her. At what point did Sean hit you? Between sessions. Okay, so like they would have hours upon hours of freak offs, right? You're talking about, remember what Daniel Phillips, the escort, would say? Like he'd be there for like 10 hours basically trying to like, engage in all this, right? So this was a real thing. So there would be sessions. Session one would be 2 people or twice or something. Just depends on what was going on, okay? Okay. What happened next? The government asked. I got to the elevator. Next thing I knew, I was thrown to the ground. Who threw you down? Sean. He grabbed me by the neck and my hoodie. Let me show you the video. Oh. Hotel hallway video played. What are you doing? Trying to use the hotel phone. The footage was there. She was trying to call somebody. What is Sean doing? taking my phone in my bag. Okay. We'll break for the day. Okay. So this is where the coverage basically done with her testimony there. Doesn't mean she's done with the yet. Like, she'll probably have to come back. This is going to be pretty intense. She will probably be cross-examined, I'm thinking tomorrow, just depending on how many more questions the prosecution has. It's very likely that Cassie will be cross-examined tomorrow. Okay. Whew, we yes, I'm not there yet, Andrew. I promise I'm not there yet. We're reviewing this a little bit and then we'll go there. Shout out to you, Andrew. I haven't seen you. I hope you're doing well. You said when she says she didn't know how many people she'd been with, my heart broke for her. Cassie is one strong woman. Well, it's literally a lie. You don't even know who or what. Like, it wasn't like these people were getting tested, guys, for the rest of the week. Oh, I'm telling you, and she's pregnant. All right, I guess we'll see how this goes tomorrow. Oh my God, thank you. I love you too. Shout out to you, my love. Thank you. Hold up. Let's keep going. So there's a conversation clearly after the jury and Cassie leaves, right? With jury gone, judge asks, what about pool reporters seeing the videos? Government response, we oppose that. And Jane does too. Jane Doe does too. I'm assuming that's what it meant. I'm provisionally denying any pool viewing. That's my reading of Maxwell. Okay, so this is Maxwell. They're quoting the Epstein Maxwell case here, and Inner City Press put in the book in there. Now, let me just say this: it would not surprise me if there is filings tonight. Okay, because there was a lot of filings. Now, let me go to CNN real quick. CNN updates, because CNN updates was kind of breaking this down for us when Inner City Press was, in between, or there were some mistakes in the stuff. Okay. So this is what's being read. We left off at Ventura. Cassie says it was disgusting. It was too much. It was overwhelming. Cassie testified that the freak-offs orchestrated by Sean Diddy Combs became disgusting, overwhelming. She told the jury at times Combs himself would urinate on her or demand an escort to do so. Ventura testified that she didn't want anyone to urinate on her, adding that she felt humiliated. It was disgusting. It was too much. It was overwhelming. Ventura returns to the stand. Cassie is back on the stand, and her testimony continues. Okay, so an legal analyst, Ventura's testimony about power dynamics between her and Combs speaks to coercion allegations. So shout out to Vicky. I don't think she's in the chat right now, but Vicky, who's also like a legal eye, shout out to her. I don't want to say everything that she is, but shout out to her. My mom, Vicky, we were talking about, well, where is the RICO part? That's what we don't get. Because and I'm still on the fence on this, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. But it sounds like when Christina Quorum's name was dropped, we were here for that, and I was clutching the pearls that I didn't have when I heard that name. When somebody asked me in the chat, I can't forget who it was. What was the most explosive part of I mean, there was a lot of things that Cassie said that were explosive, but when she mentioned Christina Quorum, I kind of took a moment and was like, oh my God. Yeah, I had to step back. Could Christina Quorum be the key to the RICO? The right hand of Diddy? The assistant? The one who hasn't spoken out? Is she assisting? Is she a witness in the prosecution's case? I have a lot of questions, guys. I do. This is, but I'm starting to think, because let me just say this. I'm not there yet, y'all. I'm not there yet. I personally, and this is just my opinion, you don't have to agree with me, I don't see the RICO. But Abraham says, and I'm thinking that we see each other right there. Maybe this is the foundation. The foundation is founding, and it's being founded by the prosecution, and they're laying it out for us. The foundation is doing it. That's what it is. Oh my God, is this Liz Gale? Oh, y'all drop some hearts for Liz Gale in here. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. And there will be more prosecution witness. Not every witness has to testify to the elements of every count. Andrew is another legal eye. Shout out to my wonderful, beautiful attorneys. Y'all are crazy and you're problematic, but I still love you sometimes. Shout out to y'all. Andrew is one of them. Thank you. Okay. Oh my God. Guys. All right, let's keep going. All right. So Cassie Ventura has spent the afternoon testifying in part about the power dynamics between her and former boyfriend Sean Combs, as it relates to these sexual performances known as freak-offs, which Ventura testified that she felt she could not say no to. It got to a point where I just didn't feel like I had much of a choice. Didn't really know what no could be or what no could turn out into. She said in the stand. A CNN legal analyst by the name of Joey Jackson on CNN said the prosecution's focus on the power dynamic during Ventura's testimony is about consent. Consent. Listen, you could be with a man or a woman for 10 years, 20 years. Okay. You guys can consent to freak offs, but the minute that you say, I don't want a freak off, that's you need consent 100% of the time. Okay. So for those that were like, yeah, are you sure about that? No, no, no. You need consent. I would be worried if you make an argument about like it's okay not to get consent. I would be worried about you. I'm just saying. Okay? Just saying. You need consent. And so maybe they're laying the ground about consent. She didn't want to do it. Now, that tells me that the defense is going to come back and they're going to do a rebuttal or a cross-examination and basically like make her say something to the effect of, on this day, you said you wanted to do it. Now you're saying you didn't want to do it. So this is where the consent is going to be a thing here, guys. Consent is going to be a thing here. And don't forget, she was 19 years old. Okay. The brain for a woman develops a little bit different than for a man. Let me just put this out here. Okay. All right. It really does. Andrew Andrew said, Andrew, you missed it. I was wearing a judge's robe. We need a petition for a new show. Judge Rabitha. Okay, with the capital R. Thank you. See, Andrew, that's what happens when you miss my early lives. I had a wig and I had a whole robe and we were doing it. I'm wondering if he threatened her life if she didn't consent. Well, here's the deal. Not only did he threaten her life, but he also had tapes, right? He had tapes. So would he say, if you don't do this freak off, I'm going to release this tape of you and this escort? If you don't do this freak off, I'm going to release this and that and the other? Could that be the case? Yeah. Could very well be the case. Thank you. Not conditional. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So these tapes are a huge thing, right? That's a strategy. That's right. So we will see how this goes. Okay. We'll see how this goes. So the legal analyst says that they're laying the foundation about consent, whether or not she was on board with it, whether she was coerced. And so I think that what the prosecution is attempting to do is to establish that because of the power dynamics, she's wanting a career. Okay. She was supposed to have like songs released. She worked over hundreds of songs and only like what one of them got released. I think it was like an album of 10 and maybe one, and some of them got leaked. Like she was I don't know if she was because I wasn't there. I'm gonna say that she was supposed to work on something, and that was her executive, and there was a power imbalance there, right? That would make it a power imbalance situation. Okay, just so everybody's aware. Yes, I think it wasn't it just me and you? I swear, I won't. I told y'all in the morning, I said, me and you used to be a ringtone on my phone. It really did. Somebody would call me and be like, oh, it's me and you. And it would be like somebody that I was talking to. Mm-hmm. I've been waiting. Think I want to see, but now that song hits a little bit different now that it's there. Because it's like, oh man, this is the only song. That was a bop. But that was the song on the ringtones. That's anyways, let me move on. Yeah, she was 19 years old. Okay. She was young, There's that. Now, is she in the age of consent? Yes. He was older than her. He was. Okay, let's keep going. Um, and so I think that they're going to lay the vat to establish that because of the power dynamic, because she felt that she could not say no, that she ultimately had to say yes. As a result of that, Jackson adds, now you have your coercion. Now you have your inducement. Now you have your compelling her to engage in this, even if she did not explicitly say no. Prosecutors allege Combs created a criminal enterprise using his business empire where he engaged in trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, obstruction of justice, and is accused of coercing at least 3 women, including Ventura, to engage in S acts with him during the so-called freak-offs. Jackson added that he thinks the defense may argue that Ventura did not explicitly indicate that she wouldn't participate, and she also helped to arrange, orchestrate, and organize. That's it. Wait for this one. For those that are like having a hard time with this trial, I want you to beware. Wait for this part. This is what's going to happen. This is what the defense is going to do. They're going to come back and say, "No, girl, you scheduled it. On this day, you scheduled to meet with this person from Craigslist. You did it." So this is going to be interesting. Okay. And that and that she wouldn't participate, and that she also helped to arrange, orchestrate, and organize the freak-offs almost for a decade. Ventura describes a pattern that most freak-offs followed. So most of the freak-offs followed a similar pattern. Cassie Ventura testified it was established pretty early on during the freak-offs that Sean enjoyed a lot of the conversation describing it. She said on her former boyfriend, Sean Diddy Combs. Ventura said that a freak-off would typically start with oiling and touching. After that, she said participants would engage in oral sex before progressing to intercourse. It was like gradual. It was a gradual process. Ventura said she would often ask Combs if she could move to the next act in the pattern. She said that she wanted to speed up the process. He was controlling the whole situation. He was directing it. This is just like he wanted like a corn star. That's what he wanted. Like, why didn't he just get into the corn star business if that's what he wanted? If he wanted to control that, that's what I have to ask. Like, why not get into the corn star business? I never wanted anyone to ever see me like that, Ventura says. She asked Combs to delete videos. Okay, we read that part earlier. And Ventura testifies that Combs beat her too many times to count. Too many times to count. Okay, so she would later delete videos, and he was asking her to delete videos, but she didn't want to be seen that way. After the jury was shown hotel surveillance footage, she basically said too many times to count. I don't know. Are there occasions when you try to fight back when Sean hits you? No. She would just take it, man. That video of her being in that blanket, that video of her being on that blanket, no. I don't like that. Where he's like berating her and talking shit to her. I'm not down for that. Court is done for the day. What is expected tomorrow in the trial? So Cassie's going to continue to testify tomorrow, as prosecutor Emily Johnson says she needs at least half the day to finish her direct examination. So the prosecution might be done tomorrow by lunch. Okay. Prosecution, you have to be able to like land this plane already, because I don't know. I get that they're trying to lay this foundation, but I don't feel like it's there yet. Does that make sense? I feel like there's something else that's missing here. And I don't know. I can't quite put maybe it's the skill set. I don't know, but get somebody else in there to do it, because this is not, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. And I feel like they're gonna cross-examination is going to go in. Expect that, unfortunately. That's how it happens. Ventura's lawyer says he's super proud of her testifying today. And that is what we have so far. Now, these lawyers are working late up at night. I got Pacer. Hold up. Let me see. Speaking of Pacer, where are you? Here you go. I might have to put my ID. Hold up, y'all. Let me get my thumb on my camera real quick. So my shit. Hold up. Pacer, where'd you go? Why? Here it is. Yes. I got Pacer. And so these lawyers are working late Just so everybody's aware. They're working late and they're filing things. So we did a video late last night. I'm just keeping my eye on Pacer to figure out who's going to send the next letter, who's going to say the next thing, because honestly you just never know. Things get filed at night, in the middle of the night, midnight. These lawyers are working late at night, that's for sure. They really are. So hold up, let me see. I'm gonna have to find out if there's any new filings so far. And some of them are sealed. Of course, the sealed documents, we can't see them. At this point, I feel like we're starting to get a good idea of, like, you know, the things that have been sealed. At least we can read between the lines in certain aspects. Yeah, they already filed stuff. One, two, well, they got, yeah, they got 3 new other things filed. The court order received to quash the subpoena issued to Clayton Howard. Clayton Howard was the worker that Cassie just mentioned. A letter by the U.S. as to Sean Combs' address to the judge from the government side. Opposition to defense request to limit witness communication with counsel, document filed by U.S. And then a letter by victim 1 as to Sean Combs' addresses the judge. Okay, so wait. Victim 1. Cassie wrote a letter? Hold up. Oh, yeah. No, I think I read this already. I did. This was the one that I did yesterday. Is this? Hold up. Oh, no. This is a new letter. Okay. Let me show you guys what I'm seeing on my side. We might need to do a little short video on this. All right, let me put this comment down. Guys, thank you for hitting the like button. We're going to move into Menendez here in a little bit, but I want to see, this is something that I've been covering, so I got to, I don't want to duplicate work, so it would be best for me just to talk a little bit about this and do a pre-recorded now live and then upload it later. So this is a letter to the judge, Douglas Wigdor. Douglas Wigdor is Cassie's attorney, okay? So last night, Douglas Wigdor wrote a letter to the judge and basically said, guys, the judge specifically, the news media is trying to get a hold of the sex tapes of Cassie and others. The media, the news organizations, ABC, NBC, CBS, all these people wrote a letter to the judge and basically appealed, this argument. Basically said, like, hey, this is about a First Amendment. This guy is a cultural icon, and the public urges us to see these sex tapes. Okay. And so I'm not really sure. I don't believe that there was a decision made on this, on whether, hold up, there was going to be, I think I could probably pull it actually, if the judge was going to be okay with, see, I think BJ might have posted something about it, that surprise witness. I don't think the judge agreed to anything yet being released, but I don't want to speak. Hold up. Let me see. She said something earlier today. I'm just going to try to find it. And if not, that's okay. Agnifilo wants the video evidence. So Agnifilo, who is Diddy's attorney, wants all this information out there. Agnifilo wants the video evidence of Diddy and Cassie's sexual encounters to be sealed, okay? So do the feds. But the judge says public has the right to see what the jury sees. No decision yet, okay? This is where we left. This was early in the morning and I did a video. Could the judge say, yeah, the public has a right, and kind of go with what the news organizations wrote a letter about? They said that, hey, this is a public interest. We need to see. Some of you guys in the comments that feel like, and this is your argument completely, I don't agree, but this is your argument. You said, hey, this is about transparency. Okay, like, let the information go out. This is about transparency. Some people feel like this is about transparency, and allowing this to be out there would be okay. The Diddy judge is not looking sympathetic to sealing the video evidence of sexual activity, even though they're wanting to seal it. So this is going to be interesting how this goes. I want to know how this ends and everything. Oh my God. Storm. Hold up. Let me shout you out. Hold up, girl. Did you just send me something? Give me 1 second. I don't get notification. Come on. Who oh my God, I think this is you, Storm. All that you do and put up with today. Thank you, Storm. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Storm. Thank you, Storm. I see you. And Didi, thank you so much for the $2, my friend. Thank you. I don't agree that people need to see these videos. I think it's enough. I don't agree with the people seeing these videos. I think it's enough. Thank you, Didi, again. I don't know if it's First Amendment. You said it's a stretch to argue First Amendment right for the public to see SEX tapes because they involve a public figure. This is a stretch. No way. This is interesting. I'm a little. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. Okay. So Wigdor submits a letter, which is literally what he just submitted. I told you everybody's working late. Wigdor says, "Dear Judge, we write as counsel for Cassandra Miss Ventura. We understand that the conclusion of the government's direct examination of our client, counsel for defendant Combs, will be making an application to the court request that Miss Ventura be prohibited from consulting with us, her personal attorneys. For the reasons set forward below, we respectfully request that the anticipated application be denied. As initial matter, the relevant law is set forth in GERAGOS versus United States. They cite case law. So they're citing that, explaining that the evaluation of whether a witness testimony would be impacted by consultation with counsel is within the judge's discretion. Such concerns are not relevant here. Wigdor, LLP, will, of course, abide by the rules of the professional conduct governing all attorneys and has no intention of influencing Ms. Ventura's testimony in this matter or otherwise engaging in unethical behavior, such as witness coaching," which is interesting because people did say, and people, I don't know, people were saying, oh, she's been coached. How? I don't know. She's answering the questions. I don't know. People that at least don't feel like Cassie Ventura is what's the word? Is not a victim, right? There are people out there that feel that. And then people were saying in the comments, she's been coached. What do you mean she's been coached? I guess I give me examples of that. If you're saying that she's been coached, and if you're watching this, give me examples of what you mean that she's been coached. What exactly led you to come to that conclusion? Give me a specific thought process. You're not in the room, neither am I. So what led you to believe that she's been coached? She's recounting pretty heavy stuff. What led you to believe that she's coached? That is the question that I have. Okay, it's the question. All right. Okay. So furthermore, Miss Ventura should be permitted to continue to speak to her private civil attorneys on a number of important issues present here. For example, the logistics of arriving at and appearing in court, particularly considering the high publicity surrounding her testimony, her health and well-being as a victim, especially in light of her advanced pregnancy, the extent to which what she is sharing on the stand implicates matters covered by attorney-client privilege in any testimony concerning the civil lawsuit and settlement in which Wigdor LLP represents her. Finally, but crucially, in the unique circumstances of this prosecution and Ms. Ventura's participation in this case, we respectfully submit that she be afforded the opportunity to consult with her private attorneys in order for her to be treated with fairness and with respect for the victim's dignity and privacy as required under the Crime Victims' Right Act of 18 U.S.C. something more numbers. We thank the court for this time and attention to this matter. So Douglas H. Wigdor. What do you guys think? T-Maker, did you just become a member? Thank you, T-Maker. Thank you for support. I feel like you're already a member. Judges have sealed evidence in the past. This is BS. The crime scene photos of Paul and Maggie Murdoch were sealed. The public doesn't always have the right to see all the evidence. That's the question that I have, beautiful messy ball. I personally feel like Cassie Ventura has already been. There's a whole CNN video out there. I don't need to see this woman's sex tapes. I'm not the one making the decision of whether this man is guilty or innocent. Neither is the public. They got 12 people in there and 6 alternates. Let them figure that out. Why do you need to figure that out? That's what I want to know. Now, when I say that, I know people are going to get mad at me. Well, if you get mad at me, I want to know why. That's all. We, the people, want to know. Okay? Why do you feel that it is okay to see all that information? Mustard Mama, thank you so much for the $4.99. I can't believe Diddy's putting her through this pregnancy. Of putting her through this while she's pregnant. But then again, hearing what he did to her, he didn't see her as a human, in my opinion. I don't think he saw her. I think he saw her as an object. If you know what I mean, Mustard Mama. Thank you again for the $4.99. Morons believe she was coached while her brother and husband see it. Yeah, and I don't know. I know there was an argument about Alex Fine being in the courtroom, her husband. And I believe they were like, we don't want him there. So I don't know if he was there or not. I don't know if that was decided or anything like that. Ronan's like, I'm so mad. So mad about what? How can they deny Cassie from meeting with their attorneys for tangible reasons? The fact that he has to write a letter? That's a great question. But you know that the defense is going to make us think. Even the government might. You know what I mean? So Douglas Wigdor, I always say Windor, but it's Wigdor. Douglas Wigdor is like in here saying like, hey, listen, we got to be able to meet with her, which I'm down. I think it's important if they're there to support. They're advocates for her. They were there when all of this went down. I would want my attorney. I would. And I hope that, I mean, the judge seems pretty fair. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how this goes. So yes, so this will be in a different pre-recorded video. This will be clipped out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about Wigdor and what he had to say. Let me know. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, let's move on because I only got about a couple minutes here, and I know I did not leave a lot of room for this. Let's talk about this. This is a big thing. All right. I saw Mark GERAGOS. Now, while he was out there giving his firstborn daughter to Sean Diddy Combs, and I wish I was joking, but I'm not. You guys know I'm not joking when I say that because he did say that in the 2 Angry Men podcast. He said that he 1000% is friends with Diddy. He gave Diddy his daughter. She's a lawyer, Teeny GERAGOS. She's defending. They are rolling deep. What's that one song? Rolling in the Deep. Is that what it's called? Last Ronin? My goodness. These lawyers are extreme. They do the most. They do the mostest. And they get away with the mostest. Okay, so let me pull up the latest on the Menendez brothers. Now, Andrew said he had a lot to say about the Menendez brothers. Tell me, Andrew, what did you have to say? What do you have to say? So 18 minutes ago, I think this is maybe the most recent update that we have. Menendez brothers live update. Brothers eligible for parole after resentencing. A judge resentenced Lyle and Eric Menendez to 50 years to life in prison, which makes them eligible for parole. Are they going to be released? 18 minutes ago, this is tears and smiles how Menendez brothers react after resentencing ruling. Lyle and Menendez, I think they meant to say Lyle and Eric, the Menendez brothers had an emotional reaction to the resentencing ruling, according to one of the attorneys. So Cliff Gardner said that while he had only 20 seconds with the brothers, they had tears and they were smiling. Y'all, they're going to start a reality TV show. Lyle and Eric take LA. Just joking. I don't know. I'm thinking of Gypsy Rose, y'all. I'm thinking of Gypsy Rose. Look, I don't know. You said I gave yes. Do you Andrew, you missed it. You weren't here for, you have to watch it. I'll play it for you, Andrew. This is Mark Geragos. Let me tell you what he said. He didn't say he pimped her. I'll tell you what he said, okay? He didn't say he pimped her. You know, he's very careful about what he said. Was it this one? Yeah, it was. Let's see. Let's play this for you.
But I don't think I have let it be a secret that in fact, if you Google, you will see on several occasions I have represented Sean. I have frequently talked with Sean. I consider Sean a friend. And just because he's facing a very, very serious charges, I'm not going to abandon Sean. In fact, some would say I've given him my firstborn. So that is an interesting thing. But
Who? Teeny Geragos? I've given him my firstborn. Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Did you attend the freak offs too? I have a lot of questions. That's quite the statement to make. Oh my God. Yes, he said he gave him his firstborn. I have never, his daughter, Teeny Geragos, guys. Unless he has another firstborn,
but I don't think I have let it be a secret that in fact, if you Google, you will see.
I'm muted. That's what he said. So he's implying Teeny Geragos is defending Diddy. Okay. Teeny Geragos is defending Diddy. He's implying that he gave. Am I muted still? I don't think I'm muted. Teeny Geragos is defending Diddy. He's implying it's a weird flex, bro. Yes, it is. He's implying that I gave him my firstborn daughter. Mm-hmm. It's a weird flex, yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, hold up. Okay, so this is what we have for the breaking news on the Menendez. Now, Mark Geragos is defending the Menendez brothers. That's why I bring Mark Geragos up, okay? You said it's sick. Well, that's what he said what he said. I didn't say it. He said it, okay? You said after this Diddy case, Mark Geragos' daughter never has to work again. Probably. Mark's got it. Yeah. Context is everything. I was joking about the pimping. Yes, I know. But even if I was serious, the quote is obviously not him saying that he pimped his own daughter. Yeah, he didn't say that. But it's a weird quote to make. And this is why we were talking about it. But you're right. You're right. Context is everything. We just thought it was funny when he said that. I'm like, such a weird thing to say, especially with this man facing the case that he's facing, right? Just saying. Okay. Menendez brothers have murder sentence reduced. What are my thoughts on this, y'all? I let me tell you guys something, okay? I don't believe that, and I've said this before about the Menendez case. I believe multiple things can be true about this situation. I believe that the sentencing was wrong for them because there was a lot of things that were not considered. Now, my understanding is that in the first trial, they did consider the essay part, and they kind of threw that out. That wasn't a thing that they wanted to kind of go with, right? Then they looked into it again. They found a ex-menudo member who made a statement and signed it and had all that signed. And, we've reviewed that a couple times. This menudo member by the name of Roy Rosselló was prostituted basically to Jose Menendez, who was head of RCA. They're still guilty of this crime. I don't think that we are denying that they killed their parents, right? Were they sentenced? Was the sentencing appropriate? They killed their parents. There were moments that they lied about certain things. They did, right? My only concern, I'm going to tell you about all of this, is that I can say that there's a lot of people, some of you guys in the chat, some of you guys might have been hurt by your parents. And what I mean by that, essay, all that stuff in between, right? You guys didn't go out there killing your parents. So a lot of people that don't go out there killing their parents. But we don't know what the circumstances was. I wasn't there. I was a child when this case happened, okay? I was born in 84. That should tell you that I was a child when this case was happening. Okay? But I don't like the rewriting of a narrative, and I said this before. I don't like the fact that people rewrite narratives. This is what it is. They say they were SA. I believe that they were SA because there were other people that reported that they were SA by Jose Menendez. They were also adults when they committed this crime. They weren't children. Gypsy Rose, and I make this comparison all this time, was not a child when she killed her mother, when she participated in that murder. Not killed her directly, but, conspired. Okay? She wasn't a child. She might have gone through all kinds of trauma, but she was an adult and she was walking, unlike what she led people to believe and others led people to believe. I also consider the fact that she is also a victim, a child victim at some point of, child abuse by her mother. I believe that. But people go through things like this with their parent and they don't kill them. My only concern with this whole situation is that I truly hope that they become productive citizens. Okay. And that's hard for somebody who spent 30 plus years behind bars. And this is what they get. That's very, very hard. Okay. But I do hope for the best. And I'm hoping that it's not a reality TV show that comes out of this. But I'm going to say this, it's going to happen. Because we've become a society that glamorizes that part. Gypsy Rose has a reality TV show. Casey Anthony was trying to shop a reality TV show. But the thing is she's so well hated that people won't even F with her. She tried it on TikTok. She did very well for a minute because she got like over 1 million views on that damn TikTok that she made, where she tried to make an excuse for the murder of her daughter. Don't forget, Sherry Papini, another. She didn't murder anybody, but she sure as hell had no problems, pulling a Machiavelli situation, okay? Essentially. She has a show coming up. So us as a society, is one thing to, cover true crime, but we're also glamorizing a lot of this shit, if you know what I mean. These guys right here, everybody's in support of them, but at some point, if they go the reality TV show route, they're not going to be very well liked for too long. This always happens. Why are you dying? You said, Mustard Mama, I'm dying. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I am wrong. You said, when you're raised like that, you don't know what's normal to the extreme with an option because she had been raised in extreme conditions, is Katie. Okay. But let me know. Ronan, that's what happened with Gypsy Rose. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. There was already shit happening behind bars. It's the way that I said it. There was already shit happening behind bars, guys. Don't forget. He was cheating. One of them was cheating on the wife, and he got remarried. There's a new wife. He got wifed up. There's a new wife. Yeah. They were doing this behind bars. So we shall see. Okay. That's it. Yes, Phoenix Book Girl, you're right. They're not trying to change the guilty verdict, but extenuating circumstances count towards sentence. And now they have got the manslaughter sentence. I agree with you on that. I don't believe that they were sentenced correctly, but they did kill their parents, even though they were SA'd. We're not going to rewrite history. That's the one thing I can't stand about a lot of these like horrific crimes that are now being rewritten. You guys try to rewrite history. Gypsy Rose is talking about she didn't really kill her mom now. Okay. I already told you we went into this whole situation. She's getting into some drama with the baby daddy, something about the D's on fire. And we were talking about how you need some ointment for that. Yes. Like that kind of, you know what I'm saying? It's like we're forgetting that these people killed people. Straight up. Straight up. That's it. They killed people and they're famous. And my concern is for the other generations. It's almost like, who do I got to kill to become famous? You know what it reminds me of? I like musicals. I do. Chicago. Chicago. Mhm. I'd say so. You said that girl's an entire dumpster fire. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I agree. Beautiful, messy ball. I agree. I agree. Yes, the brothers were arguing that the sentence should be overturned and the original verdict thrown out. They denied they killed their parents. They did initially. They did. They lied. They did. And I think that's what Nathan was trying to basically say. Like, you guys lied. Can you guys acknowledge this? Yes, you said he had it coming. Isn't it given Chicago? How many of you guys know? Have y'all watched Chicago? You know the musical Chicago? Isn't it given that? Razzle dazzle them. I was thinking about that. Somebody said this the other day, and what these lawyers are doing even now. A lot of these lawyers, they razzle dazzle, right? Razzle dazzle them. Give them the old razzle dazzle. This is like the perfect song for a lot of things. It is a great musical and a great movie. Yes. I love musicals. I really do. Yeah, Chicago. I forgot the attorney's name, but he was an attorney and he was defending all these guilty women, and he was using media. And look at that, and that was in the 20s, right? Look at us now. They use media to cell block Tango out of the situation, basically. I'm just saying. You said you've never been into musics? Really? Not enough explosions? It was Billy Flynn. No, was it? It was Billy something. Now that's gonna get to me. Chicago lawyer character. The Chicago lawyer, I think it was Billy Flynn. It was Billy Flynn. I suggest you guys watch Chicago. I mean, it's like available on YouTube or something. Watch it. And you'll kind of see like some parallel situations. You know what I mean? You said Sound of Music is the best musical flight for me. I don't know. Just say, yes, exactly. This one too. All right, guys. Y'all are amazing. Thank you for letting me talk your ear out. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. I gotta get some rest. I gotta edit some videos before I go to bed. But hit the like button. I appreciate everybody. Thank you guys, the new subscribers, the new supporters. Thank you everybody that supported. Storm, thank you again for this. I appreciate this little cash app. Thank you, my love. Misty, Paige, KCG, Diddy, Tea Maker, thank you. Mustard Mama, thank you. Y'all are amazing. Hit the like button. Get ready for tomorrow. Hopefully you guys join us, okay? I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. Bye, bye, bye.